Good afternoon, I'm Jeff. I'm a Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at property address 18490 Southwest Deline Street here in Aloha. Located on the rooftop, we're going through the 3-inch cast iron vent. Insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running. We'll zero out the camera counter, length counter runs through at the bottom of the vent here. We do have water currently running. Here we go. We're going to keep the camera moving pretty quickly here just to get through all the crawl space. I'll reel back slower though. I'm going to go locate the camera head to see how far out we are. It's getting extremely difficult to move the camera along. Got to go through a lot of twists and turns in the crawl space here. Alright, I was able to locate the exterior clean out here. It was covered up by a garbage can on the left side of the house. So we're going to move over to that. And currently here we're just off to the left of the front, or the driveway, about 15 feet from the street curb there. Alright, we moved over to the 3-inch clean out here. I believe the line itself is 4-inch, as best I can tell, but with a 3-inch cap. Anyway, we're going to zero out right here. Everything I saw in the crawl space there, we were going really slow for most of that, and everything on the interior there was looking good. And we're going to be kind of doing a little bit of backtracking here, going past about 20 feet of stuff we've already scoped before. And it's right around here where we stopped from the vent. And I'm very pleased to see how much cast iron they ran here. Generally a pipe product than clay and concrete, which we're just about to switch to here. This is the transition over to clay pipe. And it looks like a flush transition here, so it appears to be 4-inch terracotta. And then it looks like 6-inch concrete pipe here at 51 or 52 feet. So we do have some roots popping through there at about 58 feet. We just shoveled our way through a bunch of junk there. We'll take a look at all this when it's drained out. We'll have a lot better look at it. Looks like I just transitioned there over to PVC plastic pipe about 10 feet ago. And here at 103 feet, we have reached the main lateral. And we're going to let the line drain out here for a few minutes, get all the water out of it, and then we'll take a good look at all that concrete pipe on the way back in. See what I can already tell you. I'm going to recommend a repair on that one root intrusion. Although it is small, roots will cause the pipe to prematurely wear out, slowly but surely, even if they don't affect the flow. Generally, if you give roots enough time, they will block the sewer line up. So I always recommend they be repaired rather than drain cleaned, because they'll come back. Alright, located the camera head successfully. If you're standing in the street looking at the house, the line comes out at the left side of the house, comes up just to the side of the driveway, and then actually goes down the street to the left of the home, probably about 40-50 feet. There's a manhole cover down there, and that's where it terminates. It kind of makes a big trip away from the property. Yeah, looking at this debris buildup right here, it looks like I'm seeing root strands in among that. You look back and see all the little strands and hairs kind of poking from all that junk. It does appear that we've got a root intrusion here. It's because of all the junk built up in the line, we don't get a really good clear picture of it. But that definitely seems to be what's going on here. I'm going to get this marked. I'll put a white X right here. I think this is where the roots are coming through. My guess is right underneath all that stuff. And then, yeah, here's our, this is where I think what we did was we pushed a bunch of roots out of the way. I think we kind of busted some loose with the camera. So we've got roots coming through right here at 62 feet for sure through this joint. And then it looks like they're traveling. Not seeing an obvious penetration through a joint. So that's what makes this a little difficult to know exactly where all the roots are coming through. So I'm going to put a marking here, and then I'll put a marking at the other end where the roots start at, and then that section there, once we see where it's at, how deep it is, come up with a repair process for it. All right, the line veers. Actually, pretty much crosses over the neighbor's driveway to the left of this, or the very, very front of it, right at the driveway skirt. If you're standing in the street, once again, looking at the front of the house, if you're standing straight out from the driveway, the line right now is right smack dab between this house and the house to the left, right up by the street curb. There's a big old green junction box and stuff up there. My white X mark is right next to that. And it's only about 3 feet, 3 inches deep there. It's pretty shallow. Definitely need to get this fixed, though. It's causing a lot of junk to build up in the line. And this appears right here to be our furthest out route. We'll get this marked. Alright, and this is basically, the line goes almost right underneath that. It's a huge green bush. I mean, it looks like a 6-foot tall grass between the two properties, and all the roots are spanning right underneath that section. So roots start right as it goes into it and stop right as it comes out. So even if you don't have roots as far out as 65 feet, which again is hard to tell right now if we broke roots loose or if they're coming through the pipe there, but given if those plants and everything are going to stay in place there, I recommend just redoing that entire section, because if you don't, you're going to get roots that will come through in different spots down the road. And it looks like we've got a little standing water here at 54 feet. This is an amount of standing water that is not terribly concerning, but because it butts right up against the root intrusion issue, I am going to recommend it be repaired right along with it. When you're already going to be down there, at that depth especially, I would just get it taken care of all now. We're working here with some debris in the line. We're almost to the top of the camera lens. We've got about 3/4 of an inch of water here, which, if you're not being careful, is enough water to catch debris. Alright, I've now got, there's actually 3 X's out there. This one is out of the way of the bushes, and I'm getting the depth there closer to 4 feet deep. Anyway, I recommend redoing that section of pipe there from 54 feet to 65 feet to correct the root problem and the belly there. And because of the amount of utilities around there, if it turns out that it's going to be incredibly expensive or a very difficult project to work the line around that stuff, you can do a trenchless repair. In this circumstance, though, with the depth and everything, you're more than likely going to be cheaper just to dig it up. But you can do a pipeline around that kind of thing and avoid digging a hole. The disadvantage there is you will retain that about 4-foot belly there at the beginning of the repair. The most important part here is to get the roots taken care of. That belly really is not a terribly significant one. That is right at the breaking point where I start recommending repairs. A belly like that, if you do go the liner route, as long as you're not flushing cloth rags and paper towels and stuff that shouldn't go down the line in the first place, toilet paper and everything else is going to get through a spot like that fairly easily. Anyway, it's one of those that just should be fixed if you're going to dig it, because it's right up next to the roots. We're going to reel the camera out of the line. Aside from the section from 54 to 65 feet, the rest of the line is in good condition, has good flow, and is functioning properly at this time. I recommend a rescope, highly recommended, after the repair is done to ensure it was done correctly and that it didn't belly out or have an offset joint or something of that nature. It actually happens quite commonly, so definitely get it scoped after it's all finished up.